8 years ago when I went from making 350,000 and then quitting my job and starting from zero, that I actually paid attention to how much money my life was costing me and how I needed to really, if that hadn't happened, I probably would have at some point maybe crashed out.
All right, so boom, welcome back to another episode of the Black Caliber Podcast. I am here with the lovely Afiya Ricks. She's been licensed in finance accounting for 24 years. She's helped raise over $2 billion for different companies throughout her time. And we're just here to talk about, financial intelligence.
Sure.
That's the right word.
I love it.
All right,
yes.
Financial intelligence, how to build wealth, what is wealth, then even just her story into getting into where she is today.
Okay.
So first, I'll let you introduce yourself. If there's anything I missed or anything you want the people to know about you.
Absolutely, because you didn't mention that I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois, South Side. And I got into financial services by accident. I, like you, was a psych major. I actually started with bio, and then organic chemistry knocked me out. So I was psych major, bio minor. I went to what?
I'm a bio minor.
You're lying.
I'm so serious.
We do have a lot in common, all right? Okay. Yeah, you're gonna be wealthy. Yeah, you need to ask me a lot of questions, and then I can tell you all. And I definitely want to talk about like mistakes that I made, so that you don't I got the lesson for you.
Okay.
So yeah, that besides the Chicago thing, you had it down pat, which is perfect.
All right, cool. And I always like to start off. So, how are you feeling today? How does it feel to be here at Lincoln University?
So it's Black History Month.
Black History Month.
The first HBCU. So Dr. Sam, I met him through a mutual friend years ago, and I said I want to come up and speak to the students. So this is actually my third time coming up to talk about like financial literacy and how money works. And I specifically, I woke up this morning, just really excited. It's a 2-hour drive, so normally I'm not excited about, a long drive. But I was really excited just to be in front of some young people that I could talk to about wealth and growing in and, some of the things that just to watch out for as you guys go on your financial journey. So I'm feeling amazing today.
Okay, that's great. And just so y'all know, right, so she also ran track, so she just like me, she ran almost the same events except for hurdles. We're both psych majors.
I did hurdles in high school, actually.
Oh, see, look at that.
So my track coach in college, she was like, what events did you do? So I said 100 and 200. My dad actually was the number one team in the 4x4 at Indiana. But I was like, after high school, I'm not doing the 400 anymore. So when she asked, I eliminated hurdles because I didn't want to do it anymore, and I eliminated the 400. The hurdles I got out of doing, the 400 I did not.
That's the backbone of the track. Can't get away from that. That's excellent.
So yeah.
Yeah, right. So you just heard we both bio minors.
Yep.
And, I'm actually about to go get my MBA now in marketing, so.
Oh, wow. So I started in marketing.
Look at that.
My first job was in marketing, working for an advertising company in New York. And then my first job in finance was actually marketing first, and then I got into sales.
Isn't that insane? Life goes inside.
You related?
That's really funny.
That's hilarious. Oh my goodness.
Right. So let's even start. So where did you go to school at?
For college, I went to Smith College. It's in Northampton, Massachusetts. It's a PWI, all women. It was part of the 5-college system. So there were 5 colleges that you could take courses at. So I'm so glad I did that. Smith is one of the top liberal arts colleges in the nation. It still is. And it's in Northampton, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. My first roommate was from Massachusetts. That's the only thing I know about that.
Yeah, it's in Western Mass, so it's near Springfield, where the Basketball Hall of Fame is, and yeah, I guess that's the only thing really up there.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier. You said you didn't really have much of an idea about financial education, so you was maxing out your credit cards.
Yes. So I don't know if they still do this, but in college for us, when we would go to the mailroom, they would have the free blankets and the cups. So if you signed up for a credit card, then you got a Smith College blanket, or you got like a Smith College mug. And so you kind of would just sign up to get the free thing. But then obviously you're gonna use the card. So I think my first big purchase was, and I still remember this coat, it was a butter leather Nautica jacket. I was a hip hop head, so it was like, oh, I gotta get this. Couldn't afford it, bought it. I don't even know when I actually honestly paid it off, but whenever I wanted to eat, whenever I wanted to just do anything, we were going to New York for the weekend. Oh, don't worry, I'll fill up the tank. Oh, don't worry, I'll wash the car. So, I mean, that was so I could use the car. They would let me use their car later, because, you know. But yeah, I was maxing out credit cards as if it was like free money. So that was probably one of my first financial lessons. Oh, and I made a lot of money technically in college. I did research. Actually, Brenda Allen, who's here, I did research with her at Smith College. She used to be. I'm stalking. I gotta find Brenda Allen while I'm here. But she had us do like research on like psychology and different things. We actually got to fly out to Morehouse and visit Spelman. So yeah, shout out to Brenda Allen. But yeah, so between that stipend and then working at the library, I was doing pretty good in college actually, but not with the credit cards. No. So I was making money, and then that money was kind of disappearing pretty fast.
So when did you even learn like what you were actually doing to like your credit, or that money wasn't as free as you thought it was?
That's actually funny. So my first job was in New York, and I lived in New York for a few years before I was actually flying home to Chicago. And I met, what I didn't know was my future boss. He was sitting on the plane next to me. And we were just, talking, and I always fall asleep on planes, and I woke up and the plane hadn't moved. So I was like, what's going on? And we just started talking. And ironically, in New York, and I don't know if the rules have changed, but in New York, like I ran up cars, didn't pay them. I was like, okay, whatever. It's like it disappears. It's not happening. I ended up taking the job that he was offering me in Illinois. And one day I played hooky from work, and somebody buzzed my buzzer. I just let them in, and they knocked on the door. It was the people that was coming to hand over a court case. Chase was the first one, but it was a court case for me to go to court to pay it off. So the rules in Illinois or Chicago were different, where they could actually take you to court. In New York, that wasn't the case then. So that's actually when I realized it was a problem. So that was what, 4 or 5 years after I got the credit card. So once I had to go to court and give them like my payment plan, or else there was gonna be some big problems, that's honestly when I would have never probably paid those things if they hadn't sent me to court. Which would have just messed up my credit for later. They came to your door. They came to my door. Yeah.
And then you also said that, so you graduated and your first job was in marketing.
Yeah.
So how did you even shift to being in finance?
I was about to get evicted. So my first job, I was making $25,000, living in Clinton Hill, which was basically Bed-Stuy. I lived on St. James, which was Biggie's Block. That's how I knew it was Bed-Stuy. And it was a really great studio, four floor walk up. At that time, it was $695 a month, and I couldn't afford to pay it. And I wasn't balling out of control. I was literally going to and from work. If I went out, I took the train. I didn't even take cabs because I couldn't afford to do it. I took my laundry down them 4 steps and went to the laundromat and was doing my own laundry. I didn't drop it off. You can't survive on $25,000 in New York. One thing I will tell you is that as a tenant, every month that I didn't pay, I would go like 2 or 3 times and be like, I'm gonna pay, and then I would give them a little. And me and the landlord, we got to be cool, but at some point, I think I was like 5 months behind. And he was like, little girl, I trust you. You keep coming by here, but like, we're supposed to kick you out after 3 months. So I'm gonna be giving you eviction papers. So luckily, a good friend of mine at the time, I had to actually borrow the money so I wouldn't get evicted. So that was another money lesson for me. And then to pay that person back, I went to an alumni event. Networking is probably one of the most important things that you can do. So I went to a Smith College alumni event. I met a Black woman there. She worked in finance. I literally went to the alumni event solely just to find a way to make some extra money. That was my sole purpose of going to that event. So I went, and she said, you can come work with me, but you're not gonna be just shuffling paper. I really want you to learn about money. I really want you to learn about finance. And because of her, I got into finance. I ended up quitting my job. I did a horrible negotiation, but I quit my job in marketing, and then I started working in finance full time. I had no intention of staying. I just wanted to get the information, find something else more fun, a little bit more sexy, because I was going to parties in Bryant Park. But think about it, I was getting evicted, but they have limos taking me to and from. I'm broke, and I'm at Sports Illustrated parties and these parties, and I was broke. So I was like, that's all nice, but I need to go into finance where they're gonna actually pay me. So I got into finance purely by accident and because I needed to make some real money. Yeah.
So how did you really then learn? Like, what was the learning curve to even learn about finance and the rule of 72?
Yeah, I mean, I was 20-something years old. So even though she said, you're not gonna just shuffle paper, you're gonna learn. I'm like, that's nice, lady. Diddy's having a party tonight. And Jay-Z showed up at this party. And, didn't I say networking is one of the most important things that you can do? So, and these were not the parties at his house. This was, before everybody knew what was going on. But yeah, so it was kind of like, respectfully, I respected her. But I was like,
I'm gonna do this.
I mean,
I'm gonna do my own.
I just did what she asked me to do, but was I really learning? Probably not. One day she said, did you set up your 401k? And I'm like, no, I don't even really make any money. Like, what are you talking about? And she said, I'm gonna need you to go to the 401k meeting. Now remember, she's the one who rescued me from my own demise. So whatever she told me to do, I did do. And luckily, she made me start my 401k, which is a retirement account when you have a job. And so it was pulling, I think, $26 a paycheck, something small. And that was actually my first lesson. It was forced, but that was my first lesson in that if you put little amounts of money away. I remember one day I just looked and it was, I think, 2,000 or 2,600 or something close to 3,000. And I just never had that much money at once. So like my swag got a little bit different. Now think about it, it's not a lot of money, but for me it was like the most I had ever myself personally had an account. So that felt good.
Not bad. So then I guess that's when you started taking it serious after that? Once you saw that?
Nah.
No, still no.
Nah, money's like, it's such a funny thing emotionally as a person of color. Like if you don't grow up knowing about money, the thought process for me was I just want to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
It had nothing to do with putting money away. These are really good questions because I've never really thought about it. You said, when did I start? What was the question? When did I start learning about money?
Yeah, like really learning about money. Right, I can tell you right now.
I started learning about money when I stopped making as much money. So that was probably 8 years ago. Now, meanwhile, I'm teaching investing. My job, literally in financial services, once I got the job when I went back to Chicago, my job was we had mutual funds and unit investment trusts, and I knew how the stock market worked. I knew how to grow money. And I put away money, but it didn't really matter. I started making 6 figures when I was 26 years old. So like, I'm making money. I'm putting money away, my bills are paid. So it didn't really dawn on me like learning about like structuring the money. So did I know how to grow money? Yeah, that was my job. So I knew how to work the stock market. But yeah, it was probably 8 years ago when I went from making $350,000 and then quitting my job and starting from zero that I actually paid attention to how much money my life was costing me and how I needed to really, if that hadn't happened, I probably would have at some point maybe crashed out. So wait, you said when did you start learning about money?
Yeah, so what, me?
Yeah.
I started like in high school, I think maybe in 11th grade.
Okay.
COVID. So COVID happened. And one of my close friends, he was good at math. He liked doing the stock market.
Okay.
So he's doing it. He's like, yo, what was it? GameStop and all that. And Robinhood shut down. And I was just turning 18. So with the thing, I couldn't have an account yet because you can't get a vesting account until you turn 18. I started watching podcasts, stuff like that.
By the way, you can't get an account before 18.
I can?
Your parents would have to open it up for you. You have to make at least $1,000 and you can get a minor IRA.
But see, they ain't even know. My parents don't know.
But that's why I was like, I want to let everybody know you can actually get an account. Like if you have children and they make money, you can actually open an account for them. Go ahead.
So I remember even asking them could they open it, but like they don't trust me. I'm 17.
Yeah, and you would have spent it on who knows what.
I did end up spending it. But so he was trading and he was like, yo, so I'm like, he was older than me. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of money invested for me.
Okay.
And I think I ended up giving him like $100. And when I turned 18, he called me, he like, yeah, I'm on vacation. He called me, he like, yeah, you update your Cash App yet? Cause when you can't get a certain amount of money on Cash App either until you turn 18.
Oh, I didn't know that, okay.
Cause you have to be a certain age. So
that makes sense.
I'm like, nah. He's like, yeah, update it. I'm just thinking he called me, just whatever. So we do that, and it was my birthday. Like I said, I just turned 18, and he sends me $500. He's like, yeah, this is all your money. Like, this ain't a gift. This is what you've made from the money you gave me. I was like, what? I forgot I gave you that money. I said, oh yeah. So that's when I really started learning about the stock market and how it worked. Even like you said, so I kind of understand that sentiment of like, even here, I was winning stock investments and doing all that. But like, I wasn't really investing. Like, I invest every once in a while, but it's like, it takes a while for you to realize it's real. Like, you actually can. Because
you're not touching it.
Yeah.
Like a house you touch, like, I think a lot of people, it's on a statement. We're used to seeing, especially depending on the drug deal, you know what I'm saying? Like drug dealers and people with money, like it's stacked. Like you see it.
And that was something I was about to say. It was like, they always talk about drug dealers. A lot of people want to be drug dealers because they're the only people you ever see with money.
They're business people.
They're the only people you see with the money coming out their pocket. Everybody else is just, it's in my account.
Yeah.
And so it's like real. So it took me a while to even recognize, oh, this is real. Like,
right.
I can make money. Even here now, we talking to people, and I realize like my portfolio is not that dope. Like I got to step up.
Right.
But I just think like, so like I even get that.
That's good.
Getting money, and then you realize like, oh, so even now.
You still speak to this person?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
He stopped actually.
Really?
So he stopped investing, and then I really like started.
Do you know why he stopped?
Life and everything like that. And he,
okay.
You know people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to get into it too much.
No, I get it.
Because it's not my story to tell.
Exactly. No, I was just curious because there might have been a lesson in there, but go ahead.
Yeah, so, but yeah, once I saw that and I saw the money, I'm like, oh, I gotta make an account. I started doing this. And since then, it's just been steady. And then even like investments, I know somebody in there asked about how to save.
Yeah.
And you talked about your different accounts. And I just learned about a mutual fund, like an account.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing. I thought I just had to buy it on the stock market. I didn't know I could just go to the bank and be like, give me a mutual account, put money in it, and they'll do it.
So there's an account and your money's in it and your money's invested in the mutual fund. I'm glad you said it that way because I know like some of my clients will say, what's in my mutual fund account? And I'm like, well, you actually have 3 accounts. And not like, you know what I'm saying? One of them is your cash account that you have at your bank. Yeah. But the other 2 I have. One of them is an investment account that has mutual funds in it. If you open up that IRA that we talked about too, the retirement account, I'm investing in mutual funds in that account. So mutual fund is actually the investment. So you're not even doing the stocks and stuff like that and the option. Like the mutual fund is just that. So it's not the account. The account is just the account and your money's in it. Yeah. What your money is invested in is now in whatever stocks are in that mutual fund. Yeah,
but I didn't even know you could, because I'm going to start doing that.
Yeah.
That sounds a lot easier, a lot stressful.
You get licensed, you could do it for other people.
That's a lot of math.
Not really, but okay.
Maybe.
Psych major?
Yeah.
Psych major?
Maybe. It seems like our math is going
on. There's math there. Like, what are you talking about?
It's not a lot of math in bio.
So math is money.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Money's math.
Yeah.
I went to a high school in Philly, And I asked this question, but it's recently, and I said, how many of you students, like math? And I intentionally asked that question first, because only like 10% of the room. And I said, how many of you guys like money? Mm-hmm. And everybody raised their hand. And I'm like, how many of you guys want to have a lot of money? And I'm like, so you understand in your math class that they talked about like investing has numbers in it. Mm-hmm. And like your money, like as that multiplies or subtracts, like that's money. Like, and I said, so what if we call math class money class, and instead of talking about the speeds of trains and when they meet, which is useless.
How many
protractor. I don't want to be an architect. Useless. I said, what if the money class was literally about like numbers, but numbers related to money, which you love that class, and they all would. And that's when I was like, there's got to be a money class. Like there's in.
We can just change the questions in the math class and we'd be all right.
All of them. Don't nobody care about that train. I paid my fare. Amtrak is going to give me to Philly.
It really should be like.
And they're going to be late. And I don't get a discount.
And I never calculated the speed of a train in my life.
No. Am I on time or not?
Exactly. Probably not.
So, yeah. But yeah. You care because you like multiplying that money.
I do.
And you liked how that 100 was 5 times what it was worth. That
was insane. I've not been able to do that again, but that was like, I remember just sitting there like, yo, and I blew that money so fast.
Because it came fast.
And also it was like, I was on vacation. And I just turned 18.
Yeah, why you sent to you should wait till you came back.
Because it was my money.
Nah, but you should wait. I was waiting till you came back.
I had a time. Oh my goodness. I still have those clothes. I can be like, clothes don't last. I still have those clothes.
They do. If you bought them a while ago, they're good quality.
Well, we went to the outlets.
Wait, where were you on vacation?
Myrtle Beach.
Oh, yeah, you had a good old time. Okay.
Yeah, but I remember that. So that was like my first introduction to like the stock market.
That's good.
How to make investments. And even now I'm trying to get my parents and like they can do it, but they old school, so they just
So on my team, I have a team of people that I get licensed. And when anybody says try, or there's a couple of other words, but try is a big one, they have to do 10 push-ups. So do you remember what you just said?
So I gotta do 10 push-ups? I'm not
right now. Because they won't see him, the camera's not gonna show you on the floor. We'll get it done before. But how can you change that statement about what you just said you're gonna do for your parents? You said I'm gonna try what?
Well, I can't say it again. But
I
had been trying to.
You still said try.
Well, I was repeating my
go ahead.
statement.
Yeah. That one doesn't count. Yeah. So how can we say it differently?
Attempting.
You're going? Why would you not say you're going to?
I can't force anybody to do anything. And
got it. Got it.
So, but we gonna see. I'm gonna work with them.
To do what?
Get them to invest more. But they're old school, so they care about their retirement, their 401ks.
That's investing.
Yeah, but that's all they do. I'm like, you can make it.
What are their performance numbers on their 401k?
I don't know.
How much are they putting away in their 401k? So remember the exercise I did with the financial calculator, how much could you put away?
Mm-hmm. Well, actually, my stepfather just retired.
Okay.
And I know my dad's been retired since I was born. Yeah, he started working for the state. He started working for the state at 17.
Yeah, he got that good old pension.
Yeah, so he's been retired since I was born.
Mm-hmm.
And they both just got Social Security.
Wow. Okay.
So they chilling now. I'm like, you can still...
So one of the things I want to point out is, we said pension.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he has pension. He has pension, I'm assuming, because he worked for the state. And then Social Security. Are you getting any of that?
Do I get any of it?
Do you think you're going to get a pension or Social Security?
I hope so.
How?
Well, I know that they're about to get rid of Social Security or something. They're trying to get rid of Social Security.
Social Security is the whole thing that, how old are you again?
I'm 21.
So say I'm doing your plan, I wouldn't even count Social Security, because if you get it anyway, it's going to pay for, if we're lucky, groceries.
Yeah.
It's not going to probably pay your rent or cell phone. Unless they restructure or do something different, it's not going to pay for much. And then pension, who gets pensions?
People who work for 30 plus years.
Where?
Usually for the state.
The state?
Or the
NYPD, I'm almost sure they got rid of the pensions there. And most people who want to become cops only do it to work, I think, 20 or 25 years to get the pension. Like, those things don't exist anymore. Military has pensions still too, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So is that your route that you're planning on going?
Not going to.
Because I was going to also say most of the jobs, at least for the clients that I have that are getting pensions, they're also not high six-figure jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know what I'm saying? You're giving up something to maybe get something later.
Yeah, so, but I know 401ks, everybody's always talking to me about 401ks, so.
It's just another investment account.
But I gotta have an institution.
You could open up an IRA.
Yeah.
You only have to be 18 to open up your own IRA.
Yeah, I might.
It has the same, similar, like the tax structure of a 401k, 403b for the teachers and stuff here. And the IRA, it's a similar tax structure where you're not,
Well, let's explain what you just said, because
Okay.
I kind of know what that is,
Yeah.
but it's also, I don't know if everybody watching may know what that is.
Exactly.
So what is a Roth IRA?
Okay, so there's IRAs, which is you're like self-funding it. It's gonna come out of like your bank account. Then there's 401ks, 403bs, 457s. So depending on if you work for profit, nonprofit, profitable companies or for-profit companies are typically like 401ks, so those are like corporations. Teachers, hospital workers, sometimes those could be for-profit too, but a lot of times they're 403bs and 457s typically like government. All these are ways to put money away slowly over a long period of time that I tell my clients, like, we're gonna look at it once a year, but this is money that you're not spending. So just, I don't care if it gets to 50,000, 100,000, 500,000, like, we don't touch this money. Because also in those structures, as you make money, the exception is the Roth, as you make money, typically you make money in the United States in any way, shape, or form, you gotta pay taxes on it. I am not a tax professional, so I'm not gonna get into too much specifics, but basically as you make money, you're paying capital gains taxes, depending on if there's stocks and things like that. You're paying taxes on that money.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's in one of these structured IRA, 401k, then you don't pay taxes on those until the very end. It basically gives your time money to grow versus every year Uncle Sam saying, give me that, give me that,
So
give me that.
you're getting more
Give me that.
compounded interest, so you end up with
Exactly. So those are great ways, but this is the thing, a lot of times, like, if I meet with people who are self-employed or business owners, they're not working for a corporation, so guess what they don't have? A 401k. Also, if you're building a business, a lot of your money is going into that business. So a lot of times when I meet with people who build businesses or self-employed, they're like, well, I'm investing back into myself, which is probably the best investment that you could do if you're really betting on yourself. But we can pull away $25, $50 a month that you can peel away. So a lot of times when people say they don't have money, I just go right into it. I kind of give them an up, down, okay, so sneakers. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's your vice? Women, sneakers, if we're being transparent, weed, alcohol, hanging out on the Fridays, going to get cigars, buying fashion, women, hair, nails, all of that. Coffee.
Yeah, coffee is definitely turning into
What? If it's $5 a day and you're only doing it once times 30, people don't even get, like, you understand you're spending like $600, like, on coffee. On coffee.
And then you get addicted.
Definitely.
And you get addicted.
Definitely. That's why like my building has free coffee in the front. Oh my goodness. But yeah, so there's always a way, but that's why I like educating people on how money can multiply and how money can grow. Whether it's in what we just talked about, the IRA, whether it's through no matter how it is, I like to show people how little bits of money can compound into something. Like I'm doing a talk with a group of MBA wives and moms. And I think my favorite thing to talk to them about is, you know, say if you just took away one pair of shoes. Now, when I used to buy designer shoes were $500, I think now they're like $700 to $1,000. And so I said, what if we just took, you know, one pair of shoes or one bag per month and we multiplied it, and I showed it to an NFL wife actually, and it turned to $1 million over, you know, 10, 20 year time. And she's like, whoa. I'm like, yeah. And I said, how much of those, unless it's like a perfect vintage bag that everybody wants, don't those depreciate over time? They're nice. I'm not gonna say I don't like designer, I love designer, right? But over time, those are like depreciating assets. And I'm not saying get rid of all of them, but give up one bag or give up one pair of shoes. And I know some of you guys are like, I don't buy that stuff, I can't afford that. That's fine. Do $5 a week. That's still $25. And that's an account that you could start and you could invest and you could multiply and you could put it away. And it could probably won't turn into millions of dollars if you're only doing 25. But I want everybody to have that excited moment that I had the first time I did my 401k and that $26 was going in each check. And at some point it turned into 2,000. I want everybody to get to the point where they have more money than they've ever seen that they actually own in an account. It changes how you see yourself. It changes how you feel about yourself. It changes like sometimes how you feel about your self-worth, just to know that that's possible.
I remember I read somewhere and it was like the average American doesn't have $1,000 in their bank account.
That's true.
And so for me, I was like, so all I gotta do is have at least $1,000
To be in the top percentile.
Like,
have over $1,000.
all I gotta do. And I remember my first job, man, I made so much money my first job.
Right.
I used to work at a car wash. And I tell you,
Tips?
I used to go on $200 in tips every day, and I made minimum wage in Maryland, which was $12. And I worked 40 hours
But he was
a week.
caking.
Was I?
What you do with the money?
I don't gotta know more.
Okay.
Well, that was why I used to just give my friend money, cause I used to like
So it was like, I was just like, oh, you investing here? Invest for me.
Yeah.
I wish I could get that job back sometime.
You got the lesson.
Yeah, I was making so.
I'm just saying, you got the lesson, right?
I did. But like,
Imagine, so this is what I want you to realize. Imagine getting that lesson at age 40, which is when a lot of people are getting that lesson. Because they've never had anybody talk to them about money. They never really did the research. I'm also excited because even though I don't like probably 70, 80% of the information on Instagram and TikTok, is getting people to talk. Is getting people to inquire and be interested about investing. And so I've been doing this since 99. Man, if I talk to people about investing like 99, 2000, even up to 2010, 2015, I don't do that. That's for them rich people. No, that's how the rich people got rich. Like, what are you talking about? And now it's, oh yeah, I invest. I got this account. I got this account. I got this. I don't even want to name them because some of the companies I don't even like. But I got this account. I got this account with this company, etc. And it's exciting because I know like the curve is happening faster for people to learn and just start growing their money and actually, be wealthy. Even if somebody blows the money, I don't like that part. But at least they got to the point where they could see that it was actually possible. That's the part that's exciting about probably the last 10, maybe 15 years, is that, people of color are now like, yeah, I invest. I'm like, do you? Oh my goodness. You don't have it only in the CD in the bank. Like, that's great.
I hate CDs.
Man.
I hate CDs.
Man.
Because I remember my mom, she came to me. She was like, Jordan, you got this opportunity to invest in bank. And I read it. I was like, this is for rich people. Like, I was like, I'm going to make $25 in 3 years.
Right.
Why would I put anybody
So CD interest rates used to be like, at least for my parents and maybe your grandparents, interest rates were like 15, 16%. So they were getting those rates on CDs. It's just not the
anymore.
same. No, not even close.
So my next question was going to be, so what do you think has been stifling or preventing more people of color, even people, from investing? Because you think it's the emotional aspect of giving your money away, or?
Yeah, I think, remember how we talked about like it's on paper? Bernie Madoff killed a lot of people's even interest in looking at it. And the funny thing is, I'm wondering why they picked Bernie Madoff, because just so you know, during that time, if anybody ever wants to do the research, there were a few people that were doing what Bernie Madoff was doing at that time. Why he basically became the poster child for Ponzi schemes and taking people's money. I'm just telling you, there were a lot of other people that were doing it like at good levels. He actually had like some celebrities and people in the music industry and artists and things like that. So maybe that's why he got chosen. But anyway, so that whole thing kind of like ruined it in a way, but also that was just a necessary process so that regulations could catch up. Do you know what I'm saying? Like with the introduction of computers, and I was around when stocks were fractions versus decimals. That's a whole other conversation we could talk about. But things move faster if it's decimals versus fractions. Because then it could be 0.0, you know what I'm saying? Like fractions is a quarter, so 0.25. But I think a lot of people are holding on to that. And I'm not going to say that it can't happen again, but the chances of somebody getting away with doing that are way more slim now than it was at that time. So that's, I won't say it's been completely fixed, but it's so hard to do something crazy like that at this point. So I think a lot of people use that as an excuse, but I mean, what it really is just ignorance. Think about things that you're scared of. And some of them you have a legit reason because something happened. But most of us are fearful of things because we don't even know what could happen. And it's like, if you don't even take the first step because you're scared, like that gets in the way of almost everything in life. But if you're ignorant about something, ignorant does not mean dumb. It means you just don't have the knowledge. You don't know. And I think I don't mind being ignorant. I just don't. I'm annoying. I ask questions. That's why I was #1 in sales on Wall Street. Little black girl who didn't know nothing about money. I asked so many questions. Like these fools they grew up knowing about money, knowing about investing. So it's like, how's this little black girl beating us? I asked a lot of questions and I simplified the information, even to top financial advisors, because I told them, I said, you think because your clients are rich, they actually know what this is. This is first generation multimillionaires. So you're talking over their head. If you actually just explained it to them the way I'm explaining it to you, which is how I learned it and how I understood it, you'll get more sales. And that actually really happened. Like in Florida, there was a branch manager. Branch managers run the whole firm, and it was in Boca. And I don't want to say the firm, but one of the firms that does a lot of advertising that everybody respects, that a lot of athletes and people have their money there. And he said, I don't know what it is, but every time you come in the office, my guys start placing more money. And I said, first, I come in with energy. But #2 is I explain it to them so that they know how to explain it to the client. We know a lot, like standard deviation, beta, all these different terminologies. If you're trying to be the smartest person in the room, that's all you're going to end up being, is the smartest person in the room. Do you want to impact and affect people, or do you want to be the smartest person in the room? And in my instance, it's like, do you want to make money, or you want to be the smartest person in the room? I want to make money. I don't need to be the smartest person in the room. I need to make some money. And for me to make money, you need to explain it to them the way I would understand it. And it keeps everybody on a level playing field. And then you could ask more sophisticated, because you're an investor. So I could explain it to you in basics. And then you saw people came up to me after the talk and started asking. Some of them knew a little bit more than what I covered. So they wanted to ask deeper questions, and they could. I made it though so everybody in the room could get something from that. And then you can obviously ask me more complicated questions as that goes. But I think that's what's holding people back, is just overcoming the fear of looking stupid. I don't care about looking stupid. Yeah. People ask the most questions are usually the smartest person in the room.
Yeah. That's how you get smart. Mm-hmm. So, as I said in my intro, you said you made over $2 billion.
For them companies. Like I raised that for them.
So how did you even go about that? Was it just how you just said, just explaining it in simple terms, and that just turned out making more money? Were you personally the one raising this money?
So financial advisors, financial advisors have, I mean, for the most part, if you're in finance, you're working to help millionaires get richer. Do you know what I'm saying? Like wealth advisors. That's what I worked with, like wealth advisors, meaning like at the time, and this is where I'll say names, like, because I know Morgan Stanley had a minimum about like 250, 350,000. Same with Merrill Lynch. Like you couldn't get a financial advisor if you didn't have that much money. You get an 800 number. That's where they fast forward and wanted to get some more money, but you weren't going to get an actual like financial advisor. So these people are dealing with lots of money. And that money has to be placed. So just like you're like, where should I invest my money? So that's what the financial advisor's job. I was an external wholesaler. So my job was that money's going to get placed. It's going to get placed. Is it going to go to that company's portfolio manager? Is it going to come to my company's portfolio manager? Is it going to go to that company's portfolio managers and teams and stuff like that? So in simple terms, is it going to go to Fidelity? Is it going to go to American Funds? Is it going to go to Franklin? Is it going to go to BlackRock? Is it, like who gets to manage this money? And I just stayed in my lane. So I've worked for 2 Fortune 500 companies. We each had our strengths and there were some big weaknesses. I didn't say the names of the companies, so I'll say this out loud. They sometimes would push products because we needed money to flow in like that direction or whatever. It wasn't like it was a bad product, but we had better stuff. I just stuck with the better stuff. You get what I'm saying? Like if Reebok's ain't in and Nike is or Adidas is, and I could sell all 3, like why would I force you to buy Reebok. Nike if it's whack or Adidas or Reebok? Like, nah, y'all like Adidas? Okay, cool. Let's focus on the Adidas. Oh, but Afiya, you do have, yeah, but let me just be honest with you. So-and-so company, they're better at that. So honestly, if that's what you're looking for, you should give them that. And then when you have this kind of money, give it to me. Because I was honest, people would tell me everything that they had going on, and I would capture what was mine, and I would tell them where to go for the other stuff. Mm. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could have just
you stayed in your life.
I could have just captured all of it, to be honest, but then in the long run.
Yeah, you just stayed in. You said, I know this, so I'm gonna advise you on this.
Yeah. And then I would also talk to the guys at the other companies who I was competing with, and I'm still cool with a lot of them now. And we would just be like, well, I'd be like, well, I talked to so-and-so and I told them to do yours because I know yours is better at this. And they're like, and then we got to all be cool. And at some point, there were 3 of us, and I was like, I met with this person, they were looking for this. So I don't know if they called you, but yours does better than ours in this one. My boss would have killed me at the time if he knew this is what I was doing. But you know what I'm saying? Because I'm losing some market, but like then other guys are saying, no, if you're going to do your money, go talk to Afiya first. Remember, I haven't had 15,000 years, but I knew what we were good at. And so I just stuck with, this is what we good at. And I don't want to have no problems later. You know what I mean? Like, well, why'd you sell me this international portfolio of this? No. We kill it in this one. We kill it in these 2. They sent me an email about doing this. Don't do that. I know he sent me, please don't do that. For real? If you want to do it, then do it. Nah, Afiya, I got you. I'm going to do it. Yeah, I'm telling you. Like, I want the money, so, do it. And they're like, nah. So that was, and that's how I still operate even with clients. I had a college friend. She has tons of money, and I didn't know it. But her family had a lot of money, and I didn't know it in college. But, now that she's older, she knows what I do. She was like, I want you to manage. It's a lot of money. And I said, no. And she said, why? I said, because you need a team. And I said, you need like tax preparers and people like that. And you need like a whole squad. You need to be able to call somebody any time of day. That's not my lane. And she said, and that's why I want you to manage it. And I said, why? She said, because you would be honest with me. So now, we talk, but no.
You're still not managing.
That's not my lane is I want to help middle income families get wealthy. I know the market I want to help. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Hers, it would take all of my time to manage her money, and then I wouldn't be able to help the people that I'm passionate about. On bad days, if I'm passionate about something, I'll still do my work. If I'm just doing it to make money, I'm gonna make money anyway. But if I'm doing it just to make money, the bad days suck. Like it really sucks. So somebody in there was talking about like they know what they're strong at. Whatever you're good at, you have fun doing it. Mm-hmm. So on a bad day, if you're good at it, then it's just a bad day. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, that's how I be feeling about this. Some days I'll be in there, we have events, and I'll be ready to pass out. Mm-hmm. I just be sitting there like, oh my gosh. But as soon as I get in here, it's like, yeah, I can't wait. Like, this is my thing. This is my lane. I stay in it. Mm-hmm. So what advice would you even give to somebody who knows nothing of investing? And let's say they want to start, they got $1,000.
Okay. I don't have any advice for them yet. The advice I would have for them is, number one, you could do it on your own. I recommend getting somebody who has the experience so that way you don't have to hit the landmines. Now, if $1,000 isn't a big deal, then shoot, just go with it, you know. But if somebody's ready to invest and they don't want to work with somebody, they want to do it on their own, I recommend going to somebody. Also, when you're going to that person, work with people that you like and trust and that ask you questions about who you are and what you want to happen with that money. If they just take the money and immediately want to invest it and they haven't asked you nothing, that's a red flag. Because we'll get paid money no matter what we do. Do you want to do the right job? I'll go back to the first lesson that I got, which was invest in things that you actually buy. And I think that's still like a really good rule. Somebody was asking me about investing in basically these semiconductor companies and things. Yeah, because I mean, sure, we had a portfolio that was up 75% just the year before last. But it's like, are you passionate in that area? Like, are you like paying attention? Because when you're buying in that area, then you're paying attention to what's going on. Mm-hmm. And you'll notice like the little things that are changing or whatever, like Apple, for example. I've always had Apple products. Apple products are not as good as they used to be. I'm so clear on that. But I'm also clear that everybody's still buying them. And I'm not suggesting buying Apple stock in this example. I'm just saying like I'm paying attention to Apple because I buy a bunch of Apple stuff. So at some point when it gets horrible and it's not literally functioning, it still works. It's just not to me, my opinion, is not as good as it used to be, but it's not horrible. But I'm going to be paying attention to when it gets, So say and I don't own Apple stock, but say if I had bought Apple stock, I'll know and have an idea of, I'm about to take my profits and run. Because that new phone that they got or that new whatever they got, it's whack. Yeah. Like, why would I?
It's been the same phone for the last couple of years.
But that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying to buy Apple stock, to not buy Apple stock.
Anything, right?
It was just the first thing that came to mind of something that I buy that if I were investing and looking at something, I actually buy Apple.
Well, see, I've always heard that.
Products.
People always say buy what you actually buy.
Yep.
And that always kind of confused me because the things I actually buy are either really stable or there's not like.
So what's wrong with it being stable?
Like, prime example, we were in class, I have a CFL class, the Sean Carter Financial Literacy class.
Okay, got it.
And we were talking, he was like, you know something I think about? Who makes cardboard? And we always need cardboard. But when I look up cardboard stock, it's been the same price for the last 5 years.
Okay.
So where's the...
It's been the same price, the exact same price. So it was $10 and it's just stayed at $10.
It's been like $10 and then like it may hit $9, then it hits $11, then it goes back down to $10.
Okay, got it.
And I don't swing or day trade. So for me, it's like, if I look at this, I have a couple stocks too that when I bought them a year ago and I look at them now, they're almost the exact same price.
Did it move at all?
Give or take a couple cents. It's moved, but in the move, it always kind of ends up stable. So that's so like, what is that? Or is that an anomaly? Am I just bugging? How does that necessarily work?
So, one, you're talking about a very short period of time.
Yeah, for me, in my life.
It's just a short period of time. So when it comes to investing, I won't invest anybody's money unless they're giving me a 5-year or longer time horizon. That's number one. Anything shorter than that, I don't know if it's going to be up or down. Like historically, there hasn't, I don't think yet been a 20-year period where it's been negative. Like you've had some type of growth. I mean, I have like funky stocks like that I buy and do like some trading, but the majority of my money I like stable. But I'm dollar cost averaging, so I'm also buying every month, which takes the emotion out of it. So there are times where the market falls apart. So even that stable stock, when things fall apart, with the exception of like Amazon, for example, during COVID, do you know what I'm saying? Like it had no dip whatsoever. Johnson & Johnson, if you look at that, also weird, didn't dip, nothing. Like there's stuff like that. But like for the most part, I'm buying every month to talk about what I was talking about before, to catch that 25% when it's down. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like I'm investing every month to just catch the market is down 25 historically. 25% of the market time is down, 75% of the time it's up.
Right.
So I want to catch the downs.
Okay. So what she just said was basically that the stock market is basically almost always going to go up. And if you
I didn't say that.
Well, you said historically it has gone up since 1980.
That's what I said.
Yeah, that's what
you
she
said. Something different.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, historically it's typically going up. It's 75% of the time it's going up. 25% of the time it's down.
Yep.
And if you're buying consistently, you're almost always going to make a profit.
I didn't say that either, but yeah.
I'm saying it then.
Even though no, but I say it the way I say it because
you got reasons.
No, you're saying that they're gonna profit. So then me being licensed, I can't say that you're gonna profit.
Yeah.
All I can talk about is this is what it's done. Oh, we're looking at a portfolio. Since 1960, it's average there's one I have that's like 9.61%. Historically, that's what it's done. Matter of fact, let's just look year over year. See, 1 year was up 30, 1 year was down 10. These other 5 years, it was up, 2, 5, 9. So those are the facts. It's never going to do exactly that again. It could, but it'll be weird. It's never happened. But going past performance is no guarantee of future results. That's what the little hedge is in all your investments is.
Yes.
But
And the one thing I learned early too, I think my sophomore year here, when I joined the investment club, they made us watch this video of Warren Buffett.
Yeah, I like Warren Buffett.
And the first thing I picked up was...
He buys stable, boring stuff.
He does, though, but he also bought it like...
What did he do?
It was like 30 cents. But
but some stuff that you could buy right now, how old is he?
Like 100. He's like...
Whatever age he is, he's older than both of us. Yeah, but you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's some stuff right now, it's not 30 cents. It's probably $30.
Yeah.
And then someone who's your age then is going to be like, yeah, but he bought it when it was like $30.
Yeah, I was thinking of that too.
Okay.
But it's just like 30
Boring
cents
stuff.
and $30.
Boring stuff.
But yeah, I remember he said the best time to buy is when it drops. When
Absolutely.
everybody is selling, that's when you buy.
Yep.
And I thought that was dope. And then I also learned when you said stay in your lane, because at the time, my sophomore year, I was selling these brushes. I talk about it all the time over here. So I'm sure they know. I was selling, to clean your tub.
Oh.
It was an electric brush. To
Okay.
clean your tub. I was selling those. That's actually how I ended up working here.
Okay.
And it's funny now, because now they sell them in Walmart. I was the first to do it. It was me. But anyway, so...
You were onto something.
I was, but I didn't have the money to even make that business.
But if somebody had you investing earlier, you might have actually been able to pop off with that. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, so I had it, and I was paying attention to drop shipping Shopify. And I watch a lot of YouTube. I am a YouTube baby. So I remember at that point, you couldn't go on YouTube without seeing a Shopify ad. Now, it may have been targeted ads, but I just remember that they had ads every day. They started getting normal commercials.
Yep.
So I was like, okay. And I bought Shopify in our stock investment. And it like quadrupled. And during the thing, it was an app. It wasn't real money. This is before I really started putting my own real money into it. And I had put in the app, I had put like $1 million in it. Forgot about it. And like the next year, my junior year, I looked and I'm ranked like number 5 in the nation in the stock competition just because of Shopify and Nvidia.
How much was it worth?
On there, I ended up having a portfolio of like $5 million.
I'm going to bring you back to your friend.
I had with a $5 million.
You gave him $100. What did it turn to? 5 times as much.
Yeah. So I had it like...
That was twice.
Yes.
The second time it wasn't your money.
It was
But
fake
think
money.
but the first time it was real money.
Yes.
And you put $100 in and you wasn't paying attention to it.
Not at all.
And it turned into...
Yeah, I got a new phone. All I downloaded the app. I'm like, yep, Doc, he said, you're what?
Did you see what I'm saying?
Oh, he's like, oh, you did your research. I said, if that's what you call research.
But there's so many lessons in what you just did. You literally, you were like, why does this company keep like popping up?
He was just mad at
like what is going on? And you like something's going on with this company. You know what I mean? Something's going on. And it was also easier as well because you probably didn't know everything about Shopify because Shopify was probably new at the time. But it was easy because it wasn't your million.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So remember we were talking about the fear thing?
Yeah.
Now, if you have 20 million, then 1 million you're not really tripping. But like, even just starting with the 100.
Yeah, if I put 100 in there, I'd be up. Yeah, only stock I've had that long. First stock I bought myself was Nvidia.
Okay.
And that was pretty great.
Yeah, everybody seems to have fallen in love with Nvidia.
Mm-hmm. It's pretty decent.
So one thing I'll say, and this is not about Nvidia, this is in general. Once everybody's talking about it, and I'm a contrarian, but like once everybody's talking about it, it still probably has some potential for growth, and it could even grow a lot more. But like when everybody's talking about it, usually the things that are had the potential to like spike or hasn't had all its growth, like nobody's really talking about that space. So that's why I like that you were like, who's this Spotify people? And then the Shopify. Yeah. And it's just started Spotify's music. Okay. Yeah. And then it just starts popping up and you're like, maybe I'll look at this. Yeah. A lot of people who end up winning in the stock is like when you ask them the stories about like, what made you buy this before it was this? Oh, well, I was driving through my neighborhood and I just kept seeing whatever, like for you, kept seeing it pop up. Mm-hmm. And it's like, But if you're always have your spidey senses, you're always paying attention. Like a lot of us, culturally, like Black people see trends. We actually create trends. That's a whole other conversation. But our trends, like literally other people are capitalizing off of our stuff. Yeah. And we create things that have tremendous growth. So that's kind of some of the stuff that I've actually been watching over the last 5 or 10 years is like, what are some things that we do as people that other people, they're not just buying it, like they're investing in the concept of it. Or even in some cases, literally just stealing it, monetizing it, because they can afford to do it and they know some of the skills and things for building business.
Like my brushes.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
So
right.
Oh my gosh.
When you first saw it in Walmart, how'd you feel?
I was in a taco restaurant and I see it on the thing. They had a commercial on TV and I'm like, I did that. Mm-hmm. I did that. And I was sitting there just watching like.
Mm-hmm. So the only difference was you were selling the actual product. Mm-hmm. Somebody behind the scenes saw it, said, we're going to make 10,000, 1 million of these things. And we're going to go and get a contract. That's also that contract for Walmart. I don't know because I don't even know the brushes, but 9 times out of 10, it was somebody who networked with somebody and they just kept asking. And you got to be cool with getting no's, like multiple no's. You got to be cool with rejection. You got to be cool with a lot of things when it comes to sales. But think about it. Like, could you have afforded to make enough brushes where you could have even thought to have a contract with Walmart?
No, what?
Right.
The ads, I remember the day I shut it down I was selling it and I made maybe like, let's say 10 sales. Mm-hmm. But the amount I needed for ads on Amazon was $700. And I was like, oh no. Cause like at the time I was doing research and I didn't know at the time I was doing like market research. Mm-hmm. I had a notebook and I didn't know how to make a marketing plan, anything. And I came here for help. This actually, and I was sitting in Doc's office. He was ignoring me for days, weeks. So when we leave, you can ask him. So he sat right there. He was sitting there with his backpack. He'd tell you the whole story. He was ignoring me for weeks and he would, like 10 minutes before he leave, he'd get up, he'd put his backpack on. And he'd be like, so what do you want? And I'd be like, because I knew he was about to leave. So I'm just
Right, let me get my 2 minutes. Yeah.
And he was like, you should take my class. I was like, I'm a psych major. I can't. I got to.
You got to get your credits in alignment to graduate.
I'm not going to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. He's like, actually, you could teach my class. Because at the time, I knew everything about I knew exactly how many people were selling the brushes that I was selling, how much it was creating, all that. I went and got all the apps. I would track everything.
Okay, shout out to Dr. Sam.
I knew all this ahead of time when I walked in the office.
Right.
And eventually, he was just like, you want a job? And I was like, I need one because I owe Amazon $700.
Facts. Okay, got it.
He was like, all right. Finally, that took me forever to pay off. Too. I was paying. That's the only time I think I've ever been in debt, and I never want to do that again. Because what? Because I didn't know. Every time you click on it, I have to pay for that, whether you buy it or not.
That's how it works?
Yes, on online ads. So if you click, you see something you're like, I might want to buy it, you click on it, and you don't buy it, they have to pay for that click.
I didn't know that.
So people talk about eyeballs and how much people are seeing.
Yeah.
You're paying for that. That's what that ad budget is. That's why it's so high.
Oh.
So I was getting...
So whether they buy or not?
Yeah, whether they buy or not. So I was getting 5,000 clicks a day. And maybe
so you got a lot of eyeballs on it. But the sales may not... Yeah.
And that's a terrible conversion rate. It's supposed to be about every 100 you get a sale.
Okay.
But yeah, I was hurt.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah, it sucked. But because I knew all that at the time, and I knew most people was using Shopify, I wasn't using Shopify, I was on Amazon. I said, all right, I'm gonna buy Shopify. Let's see what I do.
Right.
And now that's everybody uses Shopify for if you buy something online,
they do a lot of programs for people too.
Yeah, so if you buy something online, if you pay attention, it's probably bought through Shopify. But now their stock is like,
now I'm gonna be like looking.
You're really looking at that. It's kind of stable. It's stable out, but it's consistently been, and it'll try. It's been alright. But yeah, I learned so much about like online.
Do they have a competitor?
Square maybe.
Okay.
I don't think so. Like when it comes to that online, like GoDaddy and all of them, they have it. They have their own, but I think Shopify is the biggest just because recently GoDaddy was back in the year. I remember they used the GoDaddy commercials at the Super Bowl. So now, because that's how I got introduced to stocks, that's what I pay attention to.
Yes.
I don't know how to do market research. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I did it. I don't know how to do that.
Right.
I just sit there, I watch my TV.
Right.
I'll be like, I seen that ad 4 times.
So some people have a lot of success, like people who are good at the research. A lot of times, like they're looking for certain things in the numbers. So that's such a great strategy. But also there's a great strategy with just feeling. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you're watching and you're like, Because also, just so you know, you could be wrong on both too. The numbers could say whatever they want to. If the CEO goes crazy randomly, or
that's a lot.
Something blows up at the plan or something like that. Like obviously, you can't. The numbers aren't going to tell you that that's most likely, are not going to tell you that that's coming.
Yeah, I want to learn how to do that.
But there's strength in both of those ways of just looking at what to buy.
Right. But. And before I even close out, is there anything that you want to say to anybody watching that may be investing, may not be investing, about your life, your stories, trials, tribulations, anything? Or even your personal motto?
Yesterday was great and today is going to be even better is my personal mantra. And yesterday was actually great. Yesterday was a great day. Oh my goodness, it was. I made some money. I helped somebody out. I had some good conversations. But what you say to yourself, I think one of the biggest lessons I'm getting late. So I'll just later, like at this point in my life, is I realize the conversations that you have with yourself really create, like it's a real like live thing. And sometimes I don't talk very nicely to myself. Even though I'm positive and everything, I don't talk very nicely to myself. Or I say or I say I'm gonna try. And no matter how uncomfortable it is, what I do now is I say I'm like, I used to say, okay, in the next 5 years, I should be making between 500 to $1 million. In the next 5 years, I'll be making 500 to $1 million. Way more powerful, way more succinct. There's a specific measurable result to it. So I think it's really important for people to watch and pay attention to and really correct how they talk to themselves about money. Because it's going to take some time, but you got to really believe that you deserve wealth. You deserve, and it's not money for me. For me, it's the freedom. The lifestyle 10 years ago at $350,000 as a 20, 30-year-old. What? Oh, Kanye is performing here. Where? Oh, okay, cool. With Drake? Oh, yeah, I'm flying out. I'm getting a convertible. This is a real story. I'm getting a convertible. I'm going to go meet with another person who makes millions of dollars. And since I can fly wherever I want to, oh, you're here in town? Oh, okay, blah, blah, blah. But when you don't think big and when you don't just say like, this is going to be an amazing trip, or I'm going to talk to someone who's going to get my life further than where I am, that's going to teach me something. It hasn't even happened. And I'm going to close with this. The one thing that I always say, and I live in Newark, New Jersey. I'm from Chicago, or Hyde Park, Chicago, where parking is crazy. I go to New York. I always find parking. Is that something I can control?
No.
I always find parking. And my teammates, if they see this, like, it's so real. I always find parking. How is that possible? But I always find parking. Like, I'm not even saying, oh, sometimes and I should. No, I'm about to go to Philly. I always find parking. And when I say parking, I don't care how much money I've made. I do not like parking in garages. And I have an SUV, so they do upcharges in New York. Crazy. And so when I say I always find parking, I always find free
Parking.
Free parking. I always find parking. So what is it that you're going to say to yourself that has to happen, that needs to, like, say it to yourself? I always find it's crazy. I always find parking. Like, I always find parking. That's the reality of my life, is that I always, Times Square, I always find parking. I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all there. I always find parking. So I'll probably beat you. You may even get me be there, but I'm gonna find a parking spot. And then this is the worst part. Where'd you find parking? I parked a couple blocks away. What? Man, I circled the block so many times. I ended up pulling in the garage. You gonna pay that 50, 60? I always find parking. I don't know about you, but I always find parking. So get a mantra. And just so you know, always finding parking is another freedom. Because that's literally another $50, $100, probably like thousands of dollars a year that I would have to put towards parking. It's a spot on the street. I ain't paying for that. So I always find parking. I always find parking.
That's because actually I was talking about this yesterday. I feel like everybody has little superpowers.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I know two of mine.
Okay.
And I was laughing because he was like,
wait, what is it?
I'm gonna say,
okay.
I think you have a God complex. I said, I don't have that. I just know my superpower.
God loves you.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
Made in his image. But with that, so one of them is, I can see karma. Mm-hmm. So I always think it's because with me, like,
you didn't say sometimes or
I can see karma. So especially my karma. So whenever I would do something bad and get away with it, I always knew when something bad happened to me exactly what I did. It's only been like maybe one or few times. Yeah. I was like, what did I do to deserve this?
Right.
And I'm like, I must have did something in the future.
Yes.
And I'm gonna figure it out.
Right.
Because when I was younger, I remember when I first started saying I was younger, I used to steal headphones. So this is back when they were all wired.
Yes.
And
I still use wired.
My mom stopped buying me headphones. So my headphones would break and I always listen to music because that's how I even got through my day. So like, you leave your headphones, I'd be like,
it's a wrap.
Yeah, you get up and walk away. Oh, I had them. Mm-hmm. But when I was taking headphones, I never had headphones.
Oh.
When I would take headphones, I never had headphones. Dang. One day I was just like, no, I'm gonna buy some nice headphones. I went and bought myself some headphones. And I never needed headphones after that. I started having way more headphones than I ever needed. I said, dang, I don't need to do this. And like, I always tell people, like, I never steal. I tried to steal 2 times in my life. and I lost it both times in the parking lot. I never got what I needed. So
That's
I said, I can
crazy.
see my car. So if I say something mean to somebody and my feelings get hurt, I'd be like, I know exactly what I did to get that.
Yeah.
And my second one is, I know when certain things are going to win. So, like, I knew because I didn't want the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. Not be for any reason besides I go to Lincoln and
Oh,
everybody's
this is
an Eagles
good.
fan.
Okay, this is good. Go
And
ahead.
I was like, I know they're going to win because I don't want them to win. He said, you think you're that important? I was like I am. And what did they do? They blew them
Clobbered.
out. They got clobbered. When I was younger, I didn't.
Nobody was expecting that.
Yeah, I didn't want the Ravens to win. And
Yep.
I was sitting there like, the Ravens going to win.
Right.
Because I just knew it. And it's like,
Yeah.
I am that important. And that's when I'm so certain. Like, I know who's going to win the game. I can
Yeah.
walk in and be like, I'm about to lose this.
Yeah.
I need to stop. That's why
Yeah.
I don't gamble. Because I sit
Right.
there, I know I'm going to lose.
Right.
I'm not going to win.
Right.
So it's like,
Right.
I know my karma and I know.
But remember I said, how can that possibly be in
How can it be
control?
real?
But you say it. And it literally, like, words are so powerful.
Yeah, so I was telling them the story about the Eagles. I said, yeah, because I didn't want them to win. I knew they was going to win. He's
Right.
like, you got no control over that.
You ain't Jalen Hurts.
Yeah, I'm like, no, but I'm that important.
Right.
And it was like, that sounded so cocky, but it was like, I am though. Like,
Right.
I can confidently 100% say, I knew that was about to happen because of this.
I didn't know what was going to happen.
I was sitting here.
But you did. You was like, I know.
Like, and as soon as the first touchdown, I said, it's over. Like, that's game. I already know.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so. But you always find parking, so it's free. At least yours pay off.
Yeah. But as I said that, I was like, I need one literally tied to, for me, it's not money, but for freedom, tied to freedom, which in this country is tied to money. But I need one that ties specifically. I'm gonna come up with one that ties specifically to money and freedom.
You go pay attention, be like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if I'm betting on this, I know
Yeah.
I'm going to win.
Yeah.
Like, I can feel when I'm about to lose. I'll be on the track, and it's like, if people say get in your head, I don't even got to see the competition. I'd be like, this, I'm not about to win. Or I'll get out there and I'm like, I'm about to smoke them.
Yeah.
I just know when I'm going to win and I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
And it sucks because you walk in like.
What I'm wondering though is if you could talk yourself into
Still
when
win.
you're yes.
Yeah. No, it's
When you're because you know what I'm saying? Like mentally, if you say, because it's a feeling,
yeah.
if you could switch that feeling,
Man, I wish I could.
you
Normally,
can.
There's been times where.
You can.
Okay, I can. You're right. I can. That's another push-ups. That's 20 now.
Yeah. I was counting before. It was actually, we were probably at 30, but okay.
30 is
30
fine.
push-ups.
We was at 50. We was at 50. I'd be like, oh no.
This is good. Thank you.
No problem. But yeah, so with that, can I just get you to say this is the Black Caliber Podcast?
This is the Black Caliber Podcast, and I had an amazing time. Thank you, Jordan.
Thank you. It was a great conversation.
Yeah.
All right.